Hey, it's Mike Cooch. In this video, I'm going to share with you the very best digital agency business model. If you're selling to small businesses or local businesses, this is the best model to build something that's profitable, that's scalable, that gets you off of that treadmill of trading your time for money, and also gives you the best chance at actually exiting your business for a nice chunk of change when you're ready to sell and get out of it, which is critical because this is where the big money is made in business, is when you exit. And it's very hard to do in a traditional agency model. Okay, so there are 3 A's to this business model that I want you to keep in mind here as I'm taking you through this video. The first A is advertising, the second A is assets, and the third A is automation. And I will explain each of those here as we go through this video. All right, the first thing that I want to do here is I want to take you through a handful of businesses to demonstrate why this business model is the very best model for selling digital agency or digital marketing services to small businesses. Now, you may have heard me there, I caught myself. I said digital agency services, and then I switched it to digital marketing services. Why did I do that? Well, it's really, really important for you to start thinking outside of the agency box and start thinking about what is it that we're really helping these businesses accomplish. And what we're helping them accomplish is marketing. It's not that they really want agency services. Small businesses aren't looking for agency services. They're looking to get their marketing done. And really, ultimately, they're looking to get more customers, right? So the best business models are actually outside of the agency space. Even though most of us tend to think agencies, and that's kind of the word that we use in the industry, if instead you start thinking about how is it that the most successful businesses actually successfully help those small businesses market, okay? It's not about the agency, it's about the marketing and helping those businesses do that. Case study here, number 1 is the good old local radio station. Okay, this is 91X here in San Diego. Local radio stations have been around and been a part of our culture forever. How do they work? The first A that I told you about in this business model is advertising. Okay, they sell advertising. Advertising is the simplest marketing service to sell to small businesses. Why? Because small businesses understand what it is. Every small business owner in the world understands advertising, as opposed to SEO or influencer marketing or social media marketing or TikTok videos, all kinds of things that actually intimidate small business owners and make it tough for you to sell to them because you're selling stuff that confuses them. Every small business owner understands advertising. So the first A is advertising. The local radio stations have been doing it forever and they're still in business, right? And there's a reason why, because they're making money selling advertising. The next business model that you probably know of, Valpak. Valpak, again, are they offering agency services or are they offering marketing services to small businesses? Marketing services, right? And what are these marketing services? It's ads. They sell ads in the form of little coupon mailers that go to all the homes in the area. Very, very successful, been around a long time, all over the country. They sell ads. Again, advertising. This one we're all familiar with. This was the fastest company to $1 billion in revenue in history at the time, Groupon. Groupon really cracked the code with selling to small businesses because they were selling very, very powerful advertising because they were leveraging the internet to be able to do it in a way that they were actually, selling actual deals through their advertising, through their email newsletter, and through their site here, so that the small businesses were actually getting directly customers and they were actually getting checks from Groupon when they were using the Groupon services. But of course, Groupon was taking a very, very large cut, still is taking a very large cut, but it demonstrates the value of the model of advertising. I want to share with you this company called Stroll. Stroll actually just came across my radar here pretty recently. I love this. What Stroll does, you can see right here, premier publisher of affluent neighborhood magazines. Essentially, they mail these little magazines, they mail them to homes in a neighborhood without the home actually subscribing, without them asking for the magazine. Essentially, it's a direct mail advertising piece, but it's in the form of a magazine. In that magazine, they tell stories about the community, they tell stories about local businesses in the community, and they sell ads, okay? Now, how successful of a business is this? Well, let's take a look. Local magazine company Into rebrands to Stroll as revenue tops $131 million, okay? So what these guys do is they just start up little community magazine after magazine and send them out to these homes in the area and sell advertising against them. And it's a very successful model. And there's actually a quote here you can see here all together. Our company is on track to double in revenue in the next 4 to 5 years, said Dixon. That's the CEO and that's the founder. They have no plans to sell the company or go public. Why would they do that? They've got a nice, profitable private company. And in fact, there's another quote somewhere around here where he talks about that they have actually, oh yeah, we just turned 18 years old and we've now had 17 years in a row of profitability, okay? Find an agency that can tell you that and has grown to $131 million in revenue with no outside funding. You won't find it because it doesn't exist, because all of the best marketing services, businesses selling to small businesses, start with advertising. They lead with advertising because it's the easiest thing to sell. It is the most profitable thing to sell. It's scalable, okay? And it leads to other services nicely, which is very important. All right, so advertising. Let me just explain here some of the benefits of advertising. If you've never sold advertising before or delivered advertising before, you may not realize how good of a product it is, but there's a reason why the advertising industry is huge and why it's been around forever. Selling an ad is easy because as business owners understand it. You can offer it at a very low price point because it's just an ad. It's just a digital image or pieces of copy, whatever it is, or sounds on the radio. It is incredibly scalable because that same ad you can sell for $500 and get 500 impressions to it, or 5,000 and get 5,000 impressions, or 10,000 and get 10 or 50,000 impressions. You understand what I'm saying here? There's no additional effort for you to scale that product up to that customer. So if that customer wants more impressions, you show the ad for longer. If they'd like to commit to that ad for longer periods of time, again, there's no additional effort on your part. You just run the ad. The ad runs and it just keeps on running. So it's not one of these services that requires a bunch of time or talent. You can hire anybody to create an ad for you, or there's all kinds of ad building platforms out there that will build these really beautiful ads for you for your customers so that you can have anybody on your team do it. Advertising is incredibly scalable, incredibly profitable, and it's worked forever. Why do you think Facebook sells ads as their way of making money? And why is it so stinking profitable? Because it's a really, really great business model. So the first A is ads. Now, that brings us to the second A. The second A is assets. If you're going to sell ads and have them be so profitable, you don't want to be selling Facebook's ads, you don't want to be selling Google's ads, you want to be selling your own ads, which means that you need assets to sell those ads into. Okay, so that's why Groupon is so powerful. Its asset is its big email list and now text list and this website of customers, right? That is their asset. So when they sell a new deal, they can just blast it out at no additional cost to all of these customers that they know are going to be willing to buy. Valpak's asset is that they print a bunch of coupons and put them in an envelope and mail them. That's their asset that they can sell advertising against. 91X has a radio station that's being listened to in all the cars and all the radios are out there so that they can sell ads over the airwaves in their music that they're playing on their radio station. Stroll has these magazines that they're printing and sending out. I do this my own way. Here in San Diego, I publish Their San Diego. This is my asset. Now, this isn't my only asset. I also have an email newsletter, Instagram accounts, Facebook page. Collectively, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views every single month by people who live in San Diego. And I've got tens of thousands of subscribers to my newsletter, to my social media platforms, so I can sell advertising that I can run on all of these different platforms and do it very affordably. So you want to build an asset. There's a variety of different types of assets that you can build, such as a good software platform, but media is my favorite one. Why is media my favorite one? Because it gets attention. Okay, this media site, Their San Diego, has me getting attention from tens of thousands of people here in San Diego. Business owners can see that. Business owners are reading my site. Business owners are subscribed to my newsletter and following us on social media. So they know that I'm getting attention. They know that I know how to do marketing. The other reasons why building a media site like this is so valuable is I can tell the stories of my customers or of my prospects that I'm trying to get in touch with on my site. Again, I can sell ads in all kinds of different formats, good old banner ads like this, but stories like this can be an ad as well, and I can do that in my newsletter, I can do that on social media. And I want you to think about this. Every time a customer pays to run an ad on my site, who is it benefiting most? I am actually using their money to grow my own site. That money goes to getting me more traffic on my site so that their ads get seen by more people, which just grows my media and makes it more and more valuable. So now I've got this awesome asset that's growing every single time a customer pays me. Instead of when you're doing the agency model, what are you typically doing? You're growing your customer's asset, but you're not growing any asset of your own. Make sure your agency is growing, but your agency isn't much of an asset. It's very hard to sell. In this case, I'm building my media asset bigger and bigger with every new customer that pays me. So I hope you can see why building your own assets is incredibly valuable, and honestly, it's not very hard to do. This is all just web-based stuff nowadays and WordPress sites, content. It's all things that we do as marketers anyway. Instead of doing it for your clients as much as you're doing it, do it for yourself. Okay, the third A in this formula of this business model is automation. Automation is where we start to get a little bit more of maybe what you'd consider agency business model services, but they're delivered by using software tools to make sure that what you're offering is done with automation instead of time and talent. And this is so critical. Okay, the traditional agency model is a time and talent model versus selling services that are based on a platform like what I'm showing you here is a software platform called High Level. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, you will, because it's taking the industry by storm, because it allows marketing services providers like you and I or agencies to be able to sell services to small businesses that are based on a very high degree of automation. It's based off of their software platform. And you can see down below here, and I talk about it on this video here on my site, but you can build funnels, web pages, full websites. You can put surveys. You can do SMS campaigns for them, email campaigns for them. You can do nurturing. You can do call tracking. You can do just about anything through this platform, capture reviews, things like that, that every small business needs. And you can offer it as if it is your own software platform with incredible margins. So Thrive is one that's getting a lot of attention in this space right now because really these might be the biggest, most valuable guys in the agency space for small businesses. But look what they're selling. They're actually selling software, as you can see here. But what a lot of people don't know is that this is a business that started as the Yellow Pages. There's a bunch of rich private equity guys bought up a bunch of the old Yellow Pages sites. Why did they do that? Because small businesses pay money year after year for ads in those Yellow Pages, which then gave them access to a big customer base to sell this software. They bought those Yellow Pages so that they could sell advertising, but then they realized, man, the really big value then is if we extend that customer relationship into software, we get them paying us month after month for software, and that's completely automated and changes our business. So they're using advertising, the first A, to get in the door with those businesses. They're selling advertising on their assets, which is their Yellow Pages, and then they're selling them into additional services that are based on automation, based on software. And you can do all of these things now with the resources that are available to you. You can build your own media site, you can build your own social media platforms, your own newsletter. Those are all things that you know how to do as a marketer, and then you use the advertising foot in the door because it's so simple to understand, it's so scalable, so profitable to get the relationship and then introduce them to your agency services where you're selling an automated platform like High Level to get those recurring, long-term, very automated services that are incredibly profitable. Okay, that is the 3-step formula to the best agency business model, or let's call it marketing services business model, because we don't want to be doing traditional agency services. We don't want to be selling our time and talent. Instead, we want to sell advertising on our own assets, which are ultimately things that we'll be able to sell for good money, and then introduce those customers to our agency services, selling automated services based on software that gets them paying us month after month, recurring revenue, very, very high profit revenue that requires almost nothing for us to fulfill because it's all done by the High Level software platform. All right, I'm sure you can see why this is the very best business model. If you're going to sell marketing services to small businesses, this is the way to do it. If you'd like more information about how I'm doing it and how you can too, there's a link down below here. Be sure and check it out. It's also in my description of this video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments on this video. I'll be glad to answer them personally, okay? Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in a future video.